A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us tonight on your flagship People, Politics, Economy and Governance talk show coming your way Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. That's why we're here to dish out to you all of this. It's a new week pregnant with everything you've been dreaming of. I assure you, you're going to get it at the 11th hour. My name is Abasi Odu Idiom. It's my pleasure to have you tonight on the show. We're broadcasting live from Bright Television BRTV channel 102 on your direct-to-home TSTV decoder. And you can get your TSTV decoder by visiting our website at www.tstvrafrica.com. So once again, it's my pleasure, but tonight I'm not alone. It's Business Monday, and we're just introducing this to give our millions of our business people, managing directors, manufacturers, all of the people within and around us the opportunity to talk about their business and also inspire you. So what's the entrepreneurship in Nigeria? What's the cost of doing business is what we'll be looking at tonight. We have the managing director of Nkaiso Clothing International. You need to see all of the things she dishes are. So once again, welcome to the show, Progress.
Thank you.
Okuk. It's my pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're happy to have you. And looking at all of the things you demonstrate, the things you showcase, one would be asking, how did this whole thing start? Because my mom used to be a tailor. Yeah. So I don't know where that's different from fashion designing and all of the beautiful things we see happening today.
They're all incorporated into the entire fashion business.
Yeah.
You have it's a branch. You have tailoring, and I'm a fashion designer, and occasionally I tailor. I tailor too. So yeah.
So when we come back, we're going to take a look at all of these issues tonight. What's the cost of doing business in Nigeria? The entrepreneurs are going through high prices, hikes, and of course a spike in manufacturing, diesel, and all of the things you can talk about. We'll be talking about all of these tonight on the show, and we'll get to hear about Progress's story. She's going to tell us how all of this started, the Nkaiso Clothing, and how you too can be part of what is trending. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you some of the newspaper details loading. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us on the BRTV channel 102. This is Nigeria Watch. Laws of the land. The fact that my friends abroad have to send money to support me. Thank you and welcome back. We're going straight to Business Monday on the Nigeria Watch tonight. We have a vibrant, young and fashion model, business tycoon, one who's put all his money where her mouth where her money counts. So she's going to tell us her story. Well, before we showcase what looks like a gallery of beautiful angelic pieces from you, let's get to know. First, you could have been into any other business. So why did you choose fashion and clothing line?
I love fashion. I've always wanted to be a fashion entrepreneur. So, yeah, I think I'm doing what I've always wanted to do.
Somebody overdressed or somebody criticized something. You know, some people go into things perhaps because they were provoked by something. So what inspired you?
I think it's just, for me, making timeless pieces. beautiful clothing for people. I just wanted to see Nigerian clothing,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, you told me about working in the bank.
Yes.
And
It cost a lot. It cost a lot to shop foreign clothing.
Okay.
Of course, you know the demands in working with these corporations, you know, so in the corporate world, it takes a lot.
Talking about
look good.
Louis Vision and all of this
So,
brands,
yes.
yeah.
So I have always wanted to make affordable clothing, but of class, you know, and so yeah, that inspired me. So,
Okay, so how do you get people to put together? But while that happens, we saw these beautiful pieces, and it took me some time going through your Facebook page, your gallery, to actually believe that. Director, please, can I see some of those? Yeah, these are beautiful stuff. Like, so I saw these and I was like, this is not Nigerian made. And I saw all of these beautiful stuff. So let's start with the creativity. How does it all start? Is it an imagination or like a copycat kind of thing? Or
No.
Where does the originality come from?
Our pieces are original. They are original creation. And I draw inspiration from, primarily I'm a choir girl.
Oh,
so, yes.
Church girl.
And yeah, I'm a church girl. And also I have always wanted to read law.
Ooh.
Yes, so I have dressed inspired by the professions and my social activity, you call it that. Of course, I've had some political figures I've always looked up to. I've had some very prominent women who have inspired my fashion, my fashion sense as well. So, like the late Mariam Babangida, I have always loved her. My mother as well. So yeah.
Well, you quoted her. In quote.
No.
Oh.
I was a kid.
Okay.
But I always admired her.
Yeah, the basis for this particular segment of the program is to say, this is part one, to say, what is the cost of doing business? That's the topic we had there, entrepreneurship. What's the cost of doing business in Nigeria? Because someone looking at Nkaiso clothing now will think, I want to be like you. So what is the price to pay? What is the cost in terms of economy, in terms of social factors, in terms of the environment, in terms of people and character? Can you put all of these together and make sense of it for us?
Okay. Firstly, you have to have a passion. You have to. It's not an easy terrain. The cost of doing business in Nigeria is not easy. It's not easy. But if you have the passion and a sense of direction, of course, like I've always reiterated, I tell young people who follow me, whom I mentor, I tell them to stay focused, because Nigeria will, the Nigerian business environment or economic environment could destabilize one, you know. Otherwise, it is not cheap. It is not cheap. It is not easy to launch, because what we have going on is a full business, you know, a clothing brand. So, yeah, we have our challenges, and but the most important thing is for people who want to venture into this to first have that passion and then be focused and get the professional training. I got my professional training before I ventured into. Yes, so passion is not enough. And then
so are you saying you have to keep all your documents aside, go to learn how to knit clothes together and make sense of your passion?
I am trained in the craft and having an education as well.
On it?
Absolutely. So it's not enough to, like I told you, I said earlier, I said tailoring, is just a part of
the whole process.
The entire, yes. So that is in building the craft. Of course, there is the business aspect of it. So I am trained in that.
So when you look at these pieces like my director is showing right now, what comes to your mind? What excites you? And how do you look at it and say, this is where the error is, and it's only yourself that knows?
Yeah.
Because there's a niche in each of those things where you say, oh, I could have done better than this. Yeah. How do you improve from one error that is not identified by the customer to the other?
So I am my first critic.
Oh.
I have that sense of criticism. So when I look at my craft, many times I post my craft. I hear people, I get the applauses and all, but I know somewhere something
is missing.
Is amiss, and I recognize it. And
okay.
The beautiful thing about this is I have improved over with every craft. That's why, staying focused is very important, because you learn every day and definitely will grow.
Okay, let's say that all of these is a journey that you're yet to arrive at your destination.
No.
So where is Nkaiso Clothing at the moment?
Nkaiso Clothing, we are still branding. We're still building the brand.
Okay.
And we're evolving. We're still at, would I say, at teething.
Okay.
Yes. I would say we're teething. And although we get the kind of applauses we get and the recognitions we have had,
okay,
they are above the level, for where we are right now. One would think, a lot of people, one would think we have been around for more than a decade, but we have just been we've just been here for 3 years. Wow. And yes, so.
And one will be talking about the business of the business, the money. Yes, because that's the business of the business. That's the big deal of the business. To say, with the way there's been reforms, look at what you're wearing. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm talking about the African culture and the naturalness of our fabrics. Have Nigerians or Africans, per se, come to accept the fact that, yes, we have an identity and we're going to use this to leverage on what is globally accepted? For instance, like the Kente fabrics, the African designs and all of these. Has it come to stay?
Yes, people are doing the fashion industry in Africa is big. It's big. We're bringing in, it's worth 33 billion US dollars. That's the worth of the
globally?
I'm talking about Africa.
Oh.
So fashion is big, and African fashion is big. We've had platforms on movie premieres where they have the dress code have been strictly African.
Yeah. And
we come with it's an established system. It's come to stay.
Okay, so let's say that government has yet to understand all of these monetary aspect, the ratings with which you are talking about right now. What then should be the support mechanism to see that if this could be a form of unemployment given to our young people who are actually looking for something to leverage on. Government has been spending huge sums of money, the Buhari administration in particular, and I think at the last count about 9 million people are getting something that looks like soft loans to leverage their business. Is the fashion industry partaking in this? Are they benefiting from government support? I'm asking that to say, how organized is the fashion industry to see that they can take themselves to the next level?
Well, the government will have to, I don't know about the monetary support, but the policies, we don't have the policies to drive this sector to attain its full potential.
Okay.
Yes, so we are, the fashion industry in Nigeria is starved of funds.
Okay.
It's starved of funds. It's starved of, we need grants. We need banks. We need policies that will get banks to commit to supporting these businesses. So it's still a work in progress. I'm hoping that someone in government will see the potential in this industry and begin to harvest in it, because this it's a big industry.
For a funny part of the interview, one would say, okay, this is the season where customers will go with their stick. I saw a picture and waiting for tailors to tidy up their clothing. But what I'm saying is that to say it seems that people are still seeing fashion tailoring as a subsistence form of a trade, where you just do a little you can to have something to eat, because like you said, it still behoves on the stakeholders in the industry to put all of this together, organized. So I'm asking this to say, how organized are the big players like the Nkaiso clothing to see that they can actually do the mentorship program, train people and give them the opportunity to a point that government can now see how organized you are. Like, I'm aware you're going for a fashion event.
Have a show.
Yeah, coming up soon. So from that show, what happens next? How do we put all of this together to also help government to realize its dreams and ideas?
Okay, we launched the mentorship program this year, and that was in February.
Okay.
And we have not just young people. I need to correct that notion that fashion is what people.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
big business.
It's big business. It's a job. It's a
job.
It's a profession that people build career out of.
Ooh.
And so it's not menial. It's not menial. It's an industry that people go to school and train. Actually, they come out with degrees and certifications for it. I have my certifications, and they're not menial. They cost money, So like I said earlier, I think it behoves the government, to drive this. It's a matter of orientation. You need to drive with the right policies, give us the right policies to drive this industry to its full potential. In our part, we have the mentorship program, and we've had, we're going to have our graduates next year, February, our first graduates, yes.
Wow.
So it's a school.
It's a school.
It's a school where we train in the craft, we train in the business. All right? So there is a craft, which is the tailoring, which is the designing, and then the tailoring, and then there is the business itself.
And that's where I'm interested. So the question would be, how interested would Nigerians be to see to it that the fashion industry will become a global phenomenon where people can actually see it as a career and not just for subsistent living? With us is Progress Okuk, and she's trying to make sense of all of this. But just before we let go, because my director is giving me signals, let's give it a try to say, how possible is it that people can make a living out of this? And how is Nkaiso Clothing expected to be supporting them? Because if you look at it, with all the statistics, we have 133 million people in poverty. Is this a poverty alleviation strategy for seeing the fashion industry? So
we are creating jobs with our brand. We have currently we have 10 tailors. We're not big. We're not as big yet. We're going to be, you know. But in our capacity, we have been able to grow, and we're growing other people as well. So we currently have 10 tailors. We have other, you know, people working in the company, and like I said, we are training people. We are training young and not so young people, graduates, as a matter of fact. So I don't know about fashion as for poverty alleviation, because I know that it's a craft that you have to learn, to study.
Exactly.
You know, and with interest. So, but we try to encourage people to have themselves employed, you know, and
do you also provide them with materials after the graduation?
yes, after when they graduate, the first set, they get a chance to work with us.
Okay.
Yes, and we set them up.
Okay.
You know, we set them up, and for those who do not wish to work with us, so we give them, it's a choice. You know.
Okay, so we are having a new government in 2020. You have 60 seconds to say, what would you like to see anew in the fashion industry? What policies should government make to make this particular industry self-sustaining to a point that it can grow our GDP?
Our biggest challenge in this industry is power. I am hoping
electricity?
To see electricity. I am hoping to see a government that will be focused in that. It costs a lot, you know, to run production, and so we have to outsource these jobs, take them abroad, and that is taking jobs from our people. And there is the other aspect of funding. We're hoping to see more policies that will encourage, have banks committed to funding or giving grants and loans to single-digit loans to fashion entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much. It's been nice having a Progress Okuk and Managing Director of Nkaiso Clothing, having found time to be with us on the show tonight. We want to say a very big thank you to you. And from next week, I want to be using this kind of kente and Nigerian-made fabrics on the show. Thank you so much. My pleasure. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's the size of the show tonight. Thank you, engineer on duty, Jerry. Big deal. I appreciate you. Thank you, Isaac, on the floor, managing camera. Thank you, Philip, and all the great guys. And of course, all of the crew that came with Progress Okuk, we appreciate you. Looking forward to having you subsequently on the program.
I'm sure.
And that's the size of the show tonight. Let's do this again tomorrow, God willing. My name is Abasi Odu Idion. You can follow me on your social media handle at ApsoBaba. You know I love you. Good night. Thank you for joining us on the BRTV channel 102. This is Nigeria 1.